in most of the Indian languages, we all know Jyestha is the big one. The one who is the eldest is called as Jyestha. Uh, it's a usual thing when we write the marriage invitations. We write the eldest son, so we call him Jyeshta Putra. Or if it's a female child, then we call her Jyeshta Putri, the eldest daughter. So Jyeshtha is a very common word across all the places of India, and in most of the languages, Jyeshtha would mean one who is the eldest. It's not any different. It's the same thing. So you see, the one which is, I mean, the names of the nakshatras are so that Rohini, right? Rohini is the most dearest for the moon, and Jyeshtha is the most eldest of all the nakshatras. And why it's called the eldest is because that's very brightly appearing in the sky. Okay, or it is appearing a very large, the size of the nakshatra is very large. So our people have named it as Rohini. Jyeshtha. Let's go with the mantra first. The mantra is Indrasya Rohini Shrinat Parastat Pratishrinat Avastat. Indrasya Rohini Shrinat Parastat Pratishrinat Avastat. This is the mantra. And the deities here are, first is the Jyeshtha Devi. Jyeshtha Devi is the sister of Lakshmi Devi, elder sister of Lakshmi Devi, who is called as the Daridra Devata. Okay, actually, the deity for prosperity and misery. Okay, both are one. It's just the two faces of a coin. You have one side would be Lakshmi, the other side would be the Jyeshtha Devi. So if you're keeping your home clean and following good karma every day, what you would get is Lakshmi. And these are the old sayings. I mean, if you keep your home clean and you follow good karma, you get Lakshmi. A Lakshmi or Jyeshtha Devi comes in where there is Daridrata, where there is not enough cleanliness maintained. The person himself as well is not clean in his deeds, etc. So you call her Lakshmi or Alakshmi. It depends on the person how he uses it. So if we connect it to our culture, we call it the karma. So based on karma, this can bring in riches. This can also bring in misery to the person, okay, or penury to the person. So the deity also is Indra, actually, because the deity here is Indrasya Rohini. This nakshatra is not called by people as Jyeshta in olden days. They've also called it as Rohini that lies in the south. Okay. Usually Rohini that lies in the north is called the Rohini. The bigger star that lies in the south is also called as Rohini of the south, which is this nakshatra called as Jyeshtha. Now, why is Indra called the Jyeshta? Jyeshta is Indra because why is Vamana Murti, the one which came, to get this Mahabali off the throne, is called as Vamana Avatara. In the Vamana Avatara, Vishnu came as Indra's youngest brother. Indra is the eldest one, and Vishnu is the youngest one. Because he has been the eldest brother of Vishnu once, he is the presiding deity on this nakshatra, or the Adhisthana Devata of this nakshatra. So the nakshatra Jyeshtha would mean the person, the Indra, is sitting on a throne and he's enjoying riches. That's what this nakshatra would mean. Or Rohini would mean ascending, unfortunately, we have recorded a class. I mean, we did not record a class on Rohini. Accidentally, it so happened that we did a class of Rohini, but I forgot to press the record button over it. So we haven't got the class for Rohini. However, Rohana would mean climbing upwards. Okay. So we'll talk a little bit of Rohini as well today, maybe a few points and traits of Rohini. So you can cover it up. And also we'll cover the class of Rohini after all the 27 are completed. So if you see, Rohini would mean somebody who has ascended upwards in life. So this nakshatra would ensure that the person is going up in riches, mostly on the richest side, on the material side. The person is constantly focused to grow up in life, and he would reach a position where he becomes the Indra, and he tries to control everyone. This is one of those traits that you will see. So usually the person is perceived by people as a proud person. Okay, he's a haughty natured person. What you would see if let us suppose you see a person of a Jyestha Nakshatra, you would think this man is haughty and this man is proud. This is what you would think usually. Okay, and however, it may not be true because if you see a king, okay, you name any king who has ruled very well, what you would see is the person is royal in nature. That's what you can think about the person. So Jyesha people are not cheap, so they wouldn't do cheap acts usually unless you also have to look at all the planetary combinations. However, Jyesha wouldn't just mean the moon is in place. I mean, moon is placed in Jyesha. I'm not meaning that. So what would predominantly will fall in Jyesha is the Lagna Lord disposita or the Lagna Cusp when it falls in Jyeshta, the person does not like cheap things or does not want to work with cheaper things. He always looks at brands. Okay. And another trait what I can see is, let's suppose if the money is not his, okay, if the money is not his money, don't take me wrong in this. Okay, if the money is not his, then he would say, "Why do you go for cheap things? Why not go for the best one that is available? It could be costly." Okay, so this could be one of those traits as well that you can see in an Indra or a person who is Jyeshtha. Why go for unbranded cheap things? Go for something very expensive, and because they're all proven. Yeah, they may be expensive, can be durable. This is what you will get to hear from them, especially if it's not their money. Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, whoever is Jyeshtha, okay, the idea is not to degrade such people or anything. There are so many positive traits in this nakshatra. Okay, I mean, I would like and love Jyeshtha too much because these people we'll get to talk about it. Why I would like it. At the end of the class, you would think yes, Jyeshtha is a very good nakshatra. A lot of people think Jyeshtha, Mula, such nakshatras are very bad, but it's not like that. Jyeshtha, Mula are achievers. Okay, all right. So the symbols are the circular amulet and the kavacha and the kundala, like the Karna used to wear, and an umbrella. These are all, if you see, all of these are symbols of protection. Okay. So Jyeshtha is concentrating more on protection because what is the duty of a king is to protect his kingdom. How does he protect his kingdom? He protects his people. He kills the opposite side of people or the enemy kingdoms whenever they are attacking. He's trying to protect his people by waging a war against the enemies. Okay. And sometimes, if the enemy is plotting, I mean, go back about 300, 400, 500 years ago, all through when the kingdoms were there, when they are, spies reporting to the king, look, our kingdom could be attacked. What does the king do? The king actually attacks even before the other guy is going to attack. So he sends up his army and attacks them even before the enemy can attack. If there is a ploy or a plot, being planned so that there is an attack on this kingdom, he stops such attacks, and he is very, very protective about his people, about his money, about his wealth, about his prosperity, all through his kingdom. Okay. So if you have a Jyeshta alongside you, and if he is protecting you like a brother or a friend, then you are the most blessed one. Okay. So this nakshatra is a Tikshana nakshatra, sharp and dreadful, because Indra is a person who is going to defeat enemies. Okay. And facing towards this Triangamukha sideways, we've talked a lot about what would Triangamukha mean, Urdhva mean, and Adho mean. People have got any questions around it? You have to go back to the previous lectures. Number of stars are 3 in this. We also will use why we, number of stars, etc., as we progress to the next level of understanding of nakshatras. For now, just understand there are 3 number of stars. The simplest way you can understand is if how many business a person can hold in a Jyesha thing is he can hold up to 3 businesses. Okay. If the fourth one is there, then there is a problem with the fourth one. This is one of those thumb rules. Okay. You still have to look at all the D10 chart and then decide if there is something really wrong with that. All right. So we have nickname the eldest sister, that is the Jyeshtha Devi, or the person who is the senior most person, okay, the most experienced person, the chief, or the most excellent, or the most praiseworthy, on the middle finger as in the biggest finger, okay. So, I mean, in the West, people use the middle finger for wrong reasons. But however, the middle finger actually supports the all other fingers. Unless there is a middle finger, you cannot actually do a lot of tasks. So middle finger is very important. Holy river Ganges or the Ganga rather. So Ganga also bears the name Jyeshtha. The foundation above, as I said, is to attack, and the foundation below is to defend. Why does why does Indra attack? Because he has to defend. He has to defend his people, so he's trying to attack. The base level is to defend, but the top level is to attack. So uh, at the outset, he may seem to be very attacking and a very destructive person. However, why he's doing that is because inside he is actually trying to prove his people. Okay. So you go to a Jyeshta person and try to poke into his family or try to poke into his kingdom. Kingdom could be anything. I mean, it could be his family, it could be his office, his desk, his chair, his bed. Anything you try to poke in, this guy is going to give you a big answer. Shakti, as I said, again is Arohana Shakti, something that rises up. Okay. And he is very conquering person. He is trying to win over you. Okay. And he has a lot of courage. He is going to stand against anybody. Just in case something is going against his people, then he gets a lot of courage and stands against it, no matter what happens. No matter how much ever the enemy is stronger, Jyeshtha would stand against them and protect his people. Okay. Then the final desire is to gain supremacy amongst the gods. So, I mean, do not think God would mean God. God would mean here is people. Okay. If let us suppose we are all gods, because that's what Hinduism says, every prana has got a godly thing inside them. So wherever you get to see gods or something like this across all these nakshatras, think it as people. Okay. So everybody, all the people that live on the earth are all gods. We all are gods. Then he wants to gain supremacy amongst everyone who's living. So somebody who is trying to gain supremacy and prove his greatness across all the people. All right, there are a lot of stories around it. One is Brahma. Brahma is also called as the Jyeshta because he's the person who's the first man at work. Or unless Brahma created all of us, Vishnu did not have work, who is the sustainer. And Rudra also did not have any work because he's the destroyer, because something has to exist. Then only you can sustain it, then you can destroy it. So Brahma is called as the Jyeshtha. Okay. And then we have another story around it, Indra, Twastar, and Vritra. This is a very common story across many of the nakshatras. One is Indra, Twastar, and Vritra, because Vritrasura is an asura or a demon who was killed by Indra. This keeps coming. So if you need a lot of knowledge around it, please go back and read on the Google or maybe use the AI tools that are available today and have as much information as possible. It would be actually it would be actually noteworthy to have lot of information around this story of Indra and Indravitra. So if we have another story around Indra and Durvasa. So what we have listed down here is what happened to Indra, or how did he live, and what kind of bad things happened to Indra and what kind of good things happened to Indra. This is what we're trying to talk. And then we also have Bhishma, Ganga, Sukracharya, Indradyumna, Agastya, and Naranarayana, Vinayaka. All these stories are too many. However, let's see if I can cover most of them. However, I'll give you a gist of the whole traits because we're not covering many stories in the English. However, the traits would be very clearly covered. So, I mean, the mantra is Indrasya Rohini Shranat Parastat Pratishranat Avastat. Okay. So, Indra, he is actually a son, okay, because he is the son of Aditi. So, whoever are born to Aditi are the 12 Adityas, and Indra is one amongst them. So this man is sitting on a throne very proudly. So Indra is the owner of the throne. He rules the whole world. Vishnu actually empowered him to rule the whole world. So Indra keeps ruling the world till uh, till Adi Shankaracharya came. It was only Indra who was given all these yajna, havis, and so on because people were doing these fire rituals. So Indra was the supreme man. After the Adi Shankaracharya came in, I mean, there is a debate on when he actually came, and somebody would say 5th century AD, somebody would say 2000 BC. There's no clear-cut understanding of when he came in. When he came in, he gave in a lot of stotras around Vishnu, Shiva, and all that. Prior to that, I mean, this is what people predominantly say. Prior to that, Indra was the supreme deity. Okay, because people were dependent mostly on the rain. So Indra was called as the rain god, and all across the globe, there are equals of Indra. Even if you look at African, American, or the Mayan, or even the South American, or across anywhere, wherever people existed 2000, 3000 years ago, rain god was always the supreme god. Same is with Indra. Okay. So this man always sits on a throne. So Indra, what is most important for him is the throne. What does throne mean for general public? Throne would mean uh, what is that? One is power. Okay, throne can be power. And what is the right word for izzat in English? I keep forgetting the English names for simple terms. Izzat,
Respect.
izzat, respect. Yeah, respect is one thing. There's one more right word for Garima, Maryada. I say, what is the right word? I don't still remember.
Honor.
Goodwill.
Honor. Thanks for the word, honor. So, yeah, if anybody else has another word, you can give me. Okay, honor, respect, and power. These are the primordial things for Indra. If anything happens to them, then he would attack you. You cannot touch, I mean, in simple terms or in the very layman terms or in a very, if you want to show Indra in a very bad shape or on the negative side, then you can say, if you touch Indra's ego, okay, then he is going to come back on you very, very brutally. Okay. Indra respects only one person, that is the Guru. Everybody else for him is nothing. Okay. Not parents, not anyone. Indra respects only the Guru. Okay. All right. So Rohini is similar to the star uh, Rohini. So let's go into Rohini. Okay. So anybody can access this website. It's a free one. Now we are on Rohini page. So we're talking about the free, talking about a few traits of Rohini. This man is highly resourceful because Prajapati Rohini is a king. Okay. So Indra is also a king. This man is highly resourceful. However, when he becomes a man, okay, or when he becomes a grown-up individual, Indra or Jyestha will be resourceful only when he has grown up. Okay, there are a few exceptions for Rohini and Jyeshta. They are Rohini is resourceful right from the childhood. Okay. However, Indra, the uh, the position of Indra has to be earned. Anybody can become an Indra. Okay, because if you look at the story of Vamana and King Mahabali, what happened was Mahabali went into the nether worlds when Vamana actually pressed him downwards. He went into the Patala Loka. However, promised him that in the next Manvantara, the king Mahabali would be the Indra. So Indra is not a single person. The person keeps changing. Okay. However, Prajapati is not like that. I mean, more or less, it is also yes. Prajapati also keeps changing. However, it is a more what you can say. It is more a permanent position than an Indra thing. So Prajapati or the Rohini are mostly blessed with money right from the start of their life. However, in case of Indra or Jyeshtha, it is not like that. That is a little difference. But however, as a grown-up people, they have a lot of money at disposal. Okay, this is what we can think about them. If there is not enough money, it means that they're not living up to their potential or working up to their potential, or maybe the D10 or something else is wrong with, or the time itself is wrong. You have to be careful with that. 90% of the times, after the person has got a job, maybe had a marriage, got some kids, he would keep ascending upwards. Okay, this is what you have to look at in Jyeshta. Similarly, there will be many followers for Jyeshta. There are a lot of people who like the way they're working. They want to work under them, is what you can also see in Jyeshta, similar to the Rohini. However, you would actually differ with the things like first child may not obey the native. This can be there. A few things we have not listed out here, like the accidents are common. It will not apply for Jyeshta. Uh, Highly creative people, yes, both Rohini and Jyeshta are highly creative. May not give enough respect to elders like parents. This, you have to take this very practically. Okay, at the outset, if you meet a Rohini person or a Jyeshtha person, at the outset they will not be rude. Okay, do not think you expect rudeness from them to the elders. No, it is not like that. Let us suppose there is a thing that has to be done for a career, uh, especially on the career side. Okay, if there is a career thing came up to discussion, and the kid is Rohini or Jyeshta, okay, he's talking of his father or mother about his career and what options he has to pick up or she has to pick up. In that case, he regards himself, either the Rohini or the Jyeshta regards himself or herself to be much better than their parents because they belong to the old school of thought. Okay, this is what you have to understand. However, they may not be very rude. If they keep pressing, look, you have to become a doctor. My father wanted to become a doctor, he could not. I wanted to become a doctor, I could not. Why don't you become a doctor? You cannot pull or you cannot push them into such things. They decided for themselves and they do it for themselves. Okay, most of the times. So this may look like very rude because if you're trying to push them, they'll give it till one point, they'll accept it till one point, and then they'll keep saying, "Okay, you've done enough. Just stop it there, hold it there. I cannot listen to what you're saying." A very happy marriage in case of Rohini. However, in case of Jyeshta, there are a few issues on the ego side. Okay, we'll talk about them. Slowly they'll go up in life. For sure, yes, this is very much true, both in case of Rohini and Jyeshta. Slowly life is on the ascending side. These people are slowly rising up in life. And slowly they are gaining more and more money, more career, more towards the end of life, they are going to be wealthy and rich. Usually they'll receive punishments for wrong deed committed. So this is also true in case of Jyeshta as well. anything that goes wrong on the ego or on the guru's side, if guru is insulted or if the guru feels very bad about them, that is when the bad things happen for these people too. Failures are a part of life. This is what I like about Jyeshta and Rohini. These people are not afraid to, go down and come up once again. Because if you look at successful people, anybody who talk about successful people, what they would say is like the one who invented the bulb. He said, I have got to know that there are 99 ways in which an electric bulb cannot be invented. It means that he invented the electric bulb after the 100th time. Okay, so 100 times he has, 99 times he has failed, and the 100th time he was successful. That's a very good point about Rohini and Jyeshtha. They're not afraid to take risks. They'll keep trying. Okay. Unless Yogakarka, Saturn and Mars are not very welcome, that is specific to the Rohini, because Rohini is a very soft star, and karmic planets like Saturn and Mars may put you into troubles. However, there are so many people who have got Saturn and Mars and Rohini, and they are pretty well, doing very well, because you cannot generalize based on Saturn or Mars or placement in a particular nakshatra. What is most important is the lagna. So if your lagna is very good, then nobody can stop you. Same is the case on the negative side as well. So these people can be self-destructive. Same can be Jyeshta. Okay, these people may build something. If they dislike it, they can destroy the whole thing, because these are like the Prajapati, who are responsible for the creation, sustenance, and the destruction, because he represents all three in one shape. Okay, so I gave you a basic understanding of Rohini as well from here. However, if you read the text, maybe some more information you will get from Rohini. Even then, you will still need a lecture, because not many things can be explained over lines. So you need a lecture to understand what actually I'm trying to mean, or say through these lines. Now, Shrunat. Shrunat can mean two things actually. Shrunat is like hearing, right? Shrona, Shravana, Shravana, Shrona, Shrunat, all would mean Shra. Anything comes up would link to listening. So Jyeshta people will do good if they are trying to listen to good things. Okay. If they're trying to, most of the time, what happens is, if you become a king, okay, there are 10 people around you keep praising you. If you become a wealthy man, there are a lot of sayings in many languages. If you become a wealthy man, there are a lot of people around you. They'll keep praising you. बहुत लोग ताली बजाएंगे, तुमको ये वो कहेंगे, तुम वो हो ये हो. This is very common. However, when such things happen, right, a lot of ego builds in you, and that could be a cause of destruction. And you will try to disrespect everyone and think you are very invincible. This is one thing uh, which Indra has to be careful about, or the Jyeshta has to be careful about. Okay, and he is very good at attacking on a warfare. Okay, what does warfare in today's world would mean is, trying to gain in the career. Okay, trying to lead a team, trying to lead a team like a leader. Okay, it may not be very, uh, it may not be very good in today's world, where everybody has to be treated equal, etc. However, if you go back about 100, 150 years ago, there used to be a master and a slave relationship, or a kind of, what you can say, the manager and the people below him. But in today's world, all of the people are treated with dignity, etc. That's where sometimes Jyeshta can struggle, because Jyeshta thinks he's the best amongst all, and really they are. uh, and sometimes disrespect can creep into them. I mean, they may disrespect a few people who are not very capable. Okay, what Jyesha does not like is incapable people. This person is not capable. He's only talking and shallow talks. He keeps talking, but he doesn't know anything. He's not worth a person. This is what Jyesha dislikes about people. and respects people who are worth of knowledge or worth of doing something, a task. They can even respect a sweeper who sweeps very well and keeps his office clean, but may not tolerate a vice president who does not do his work. I mean, you have to understand this. Okay. So, I mean, in one way, they are doing the right thing. So, Jyeshta is not wrong on his side. Because what Jyeshta thinks is, if I'm trying to respect someone, even if he's a vice president who is not doing his job, tomorrow the sweeper will stop doing his job because the vice president gets more respect. Instead, whatever work is given to you has to be done. This is what Jyeshta thinks. Okay. And the second is, as I said, Pratishrunat is to protect his people, and Shrunat is to attack the opposite fellow. All right. So the native is constantly struggling between war and peace. Should I have to start a war, or should I keep quiet and have some peace in life? Because whatever the other person is doing is all wrong. So he has to be punished. Let me punish him. He'll punish him for a while. Then he'll think why I am unnecessarily punishing and actually destroying my own peace. Because when you're trying to punish a person, you will become aggressive, you will breathe too much, and it will be very difficult for you to sleep at night. All these things will come in. So these people will fight war for some time. The internal peace actually is getting destroyed. So they actually revoke, sorry, they'll actually stop the war and get back to spirituality. So they keep going back and forth between the materialism and the spirituality. However, most of the times they will pick materialism or the money. Okay, I think I've covered most of the thing already. These people are very, very creative. Okay, they will behave like a head of an institution. Let us suppose there is a family. Okay, I'm not trying to explain it to you line by line because anyway, you all guys know English, so you can read it. I'm trying to give you why I wrote those lines, what actually was at the back of my mind when I was writing those lines. So you imagine a family, okay? There is a child, could be a boy child or a girl child, who is Jyeshta, a family that comprises of a mother, a father, assuming two children. Okay, the youngest child assumed to be Jyeshta. Okay, could be a woman. Okay, so what she does is she behaves like the father. Okay, she'll say, "Look, I'm the father from today. You're all going to be my people. Okay, and you're all like my kids." This is what Jyeshta would pick up. So what does that mean? It's not like a role play or something. What does that mean is she is going to make decisions for the family which are going to benefit the family as she is progressing in life. Because look at your father. How does a father behave uh, in the family? What is the primordial responsibility of a father? Father is going to go to work. I mean, I'm talking about generic rules. So there are a few women who go to work, or maybe more women who go to work. Don't be offended by that. Father's primordial thing, which is coming from the early days, is that father goes to work, he gets money, feeds his family. Okay, mother, takes father's money, makes use of it properly. And this is how the family used to work. So this lady is mostly interested. I mean, this girl child is mostly interested in doing the father's job, like protecting these people, buying whatever the family would need, make the family prosper. Okay, maybe buy some home, gold, vehicle, protection, CCTV cameras, all that stuff. Every time these people are looking at how can I protect my kingdom? Okay, this is what you have to look at. When father, okay, there is already a father, and this child is behaving like a father. So there is some kind of an ego problem with the father, okay? Because they're trying to both do the same rule, okay? Then there is some kind of an ego problem with the father. What the girl child thinks is my father is not actually doing enough, or he has not got enough potential in him. He is actually worth more, he has spoiled his life by making wrong decisions here and there. Okay, this is a particularly Rohini and the Jyeshta trait. My father could do so much, but he couldn't do because of his foolish decisions. Uh, she may be right, she may be 90% of the time wrong, because father lived in a generation which is little older than the current generation, and money was not that important 50 years ago. As we proceed even further and further, money becomes more and more important, and not everything else is important. Okay, hope you're trying to understand what I'm saying. Okay, this is another trait which you can see. I mean, I'm not saying that the girl is wrong. The girl is very much right. In today's world, what is most important is money. I don't deny that. Okay. However, father was living in a different scenario wherein he had a few responsibilities. Maybe he did a few things right, few things wrong. Because as you progress and old and age, uh, you must have done few things right and a few things wrong. This happens to everyone. However, the girl is a kid as yet. So what she thinks is my father did all mistakes. He could have avoided doing this. Okay, this is what is the Jyeshta's typical thinking. Okay, and the first kid, if let us suppose Jyeshta happens to be a first kid like me, like the one in the Rohini as well, there can be sometimes the kid is not going well with the master. I mean, it could be a father, it could be a husband. Okay, if it's a girl child, if it's a male child, either the father is not there or the father is what you can say, the father is not very powerful. We'll talk about all that. Okay, so ego problems we've talked about, and then Indra, Twastar, and Vritra. So once what happened was Indra came on to the throne. Indra came onto the throne, and Indra was celebrating, uh, and did not heed to what Jupiter was saying, because Jupiter is the chief priest and also the mantri for yeah. Somebody raised a hand.
Sir, you said that like the person has some problem with his parents, or he or she won't consider their opinion as that most
Yeah.
opinion. So does that happens with only father or both the parents?
We'll talk about that. I'll describe. We'll come into it
Okay,
as I
sir.
give you, as I proceed in the thing. It will be there. I'll come to that. So Jupiter was actually feeling a little bad because he was not properly respected by Indra. So Jupiter has left Indra's court and went out. And he said, "Look, I am no more a chief priest of you or the mantri of you or the minister of you. You may look for new people." So this man Indra went to Twastar. Twastar is Chitra, okay, the Parabrahma, because Chitra is where the Parabrahma lies, Hasta and Chitra. Because why Chitra or Hasta is the Parabrahma is because that's the sixth house. Parabrahma is nothing but your karma. Sixth house is your routine duty. The way you are waking up, the moment after waking up, what you're doing, how is your daily routine is all the Parabrahma. So what does the Vedas would mean is there is no God except for karma. This is what is the Purva Mimamsa written by Jaimini would mean. Later on, uh, Parashara corrected it saying, look, there has to be some person who has to be governing all this. So that's called as the Uttara Mimamsa. So after having read these two books, people thought that Jaimini is actually the guru of Parashara. No, it's not like that. Parashara is the guru and Jaimini is the child. Jaimini has submitted a thesis of the Purva Mimamsa. So Mimamsa thesis was given by, the first thesis was given by Jaimini. So Parashara read that and said, look, your thesis is very good. However, there has to be a governing body over all this karma to actually understand who is doing what. And there has to be a system in place which has to be governed by a person. There needs to be an intervention to actually calculate all these karmas and keep working. So that is why there is God. So what you said is very right. 99.99% is all your karma, and 0.01% There is God, but that again comes up because of your karma. So both are linked. So coming back to the story of Twastar or the Chitra. So when Indra went to Chitra, so even if in the Chitra lesson you must have heard Indrasya Chitra, okay, there is also Indra there because Indra went to Chitra, the Parabrahma, and requested him, look, I'm devoid of a guru now. I need a guru to do my daily rituals and also be a minister in my court. So then Twastar said, look, I have a child who was equal to Guru in the, but he's a young man, so just have him in the court till the time I talk to Jupiter and get him back. So this man, Twastar's child, is called as Vishwarupa, who was also helping demons, okay, or the asuras. Actually, demon is not the right word because the way the Westerners think of demons and the kind of treatment we give it to our asuras are entirely different. Because in Westerners' case, a demon can never be a good one. In our case, Prahlada and Mahabali, all these people, the king Mahabali or Prahlada, all these people are demons. But they were still a good people. So, we can call him as asuras. Okay. This man Vishwarupa was also trying to help whoever came to him. One of them were the asuras who were asking, "Look, sir, I have got some ritual to be done at my place. Why don't you come up tomorrow morning to get this ritual done?" It's like the way we call priests today that, look, sir, I have got a baby boy. Let's do a namkaran for him. Please pick a date and please come so that the namkaran can be done. Or maybe a marriage has to be performed. We get in touch with a priest. Same thing this man Vishwarupa was doing. Indra actually got bogged off with this and said, why a priest, the priest has to be exclusively for Suras. Why is he helping Suras means the gods or the deities? There's no right word for Suras actually. Sura came from Surya. So the people who are uh, who can who, you know, who are shedding out light are all suras. Who cannot shed out light or who cannot be very visible or who are very dark in combination or complexion are all called as asuras or asuryas. So the sura and this asura came from this word. So why is this man helping out the demons or the asuras? He has to be exclusively for the gods and fearing that he might be leaking off all our secrets because he got to know each of us. He has performed a couple of rituals for us, and he understood what are we striving for. Maybe he's leaking up all that information with the demons. So let's get rid of him. And Indra killed this man, Vishwarupa, uh, just like that. And Twastar was very angry. And Twastar created another demon who could kill Indra himself. So again, Twastar came back out of that thing and helped Indra once again to get rid of Vritra by showing him the Dichi. His bones were used to make the Vajra Ayudha of the Indra, and ultimately Indra could kill the demon Vritra. So what we understand from here is there is a problem with the guru because he insulted a guru and then killed another guru, but ultimately went back to the real guru and got the help. So there is always some hate and love relationship between a guru. Okay. So these people keep hating gurus and then they go back to gurus. Okay. This can also be another trait. The same thing, Indra and Durvaso Maharshi. Okay. Durvaso Maharshi is the son of Atri. So Dattatreya, Moon, and Durvaso Maharshi. All three are children of Atri and Anasuya. These two are Rishi and Rishi Patni. So Dattatreya is the Amsha of Vishnu, and Moon is the Amsha of Brahma, and Durvaso is the Amsha of Rudra. So Durvasha is a very, very angry sage. Okay. So something happens to him or somebody disrespects him, immediately he passes on a curse. Indra was celebrating a victory, same like what I said last time. So Durvasa blesses Indra and gives him a flower garland because Indra was sitting on that Airavata, and Durvasa Muni was walking across, and he threw a garland so as to reach to Indra. And once he threw it, Indra got hold of it, and then he wore that mala to the elephant. Elephant was actually the Airavata. What happened to it is, it got enraged. Suddenly, something fell on it. It was not expecting a flower or anything to fall upon, and it got enraged and it threw off, fearing it for a snake or something that actually fell on it. So it threw that down and stamped over it. Once that has happened, this man, this sage, Durvaso, got really, really unhappy and cursed Indra to lose all the battles. This is what we will get to see in the Mula Nakshatra. Okay, Mula Nakshatra is ruled by demons, the Rakshasas. Okay, so do not think Mula is a bad nakshatra or something like that because it's being ruled by demons. And do not think Jyeshta is a very good nakshatra because it's being ruled by Indra. Nothing works like that. Okay, so this is only a story thing. So the story has not real straight connection to people. A lot of people are misinterpreting these days and saying Mula is a bad nakshatra, Jyeshta is a bad nakshatra. I don't know what. I mean, Aslesha is a bad nakshatra and stuff like that. There is nothing like that. If your Janma Nakshatra is any of those 27 stars, all 27 are equally good, all 27 are equally bad. If you have to match horoscope, you have to look at the whole horoscope and do the matching instead of just doing that Vadhu Var Gun Medan Chakra, जिसमें 36 पॉइंट आया 32 पॉइंट आया शादी कर लिया उसके बाद डिवोर्स 4 दिन में हो गया वो भी आजकल देख रहे हैं so don't do such stuff. Look at the whole horoscope. I mean, give it to people who understand the whole horoscope analysis and get the matching done. Just by doing two moon nakshatras and matching two moon nakshatras and getting married is a very wrong one. Do not do it like that. Okay. And Indra approached Vishnu. So what happened is Indra lost all the wars. So what Indra said, Vishnu said, okay, Indra, I know you got a curse from this man, this sage Durvaso. What you do is you go and drink Amrita. Where is the Amrita? It is in the it is in the Kshira Sagara. So you have to churn the ocean, get the Amrita out, drink that nectar so that you become the Amara or the one who is an immortal. So how do we do that? Then they need the help of the Asuras also. So demons and the gods have churned the ocean of milk. We'll talk more about it in the next nakshatra. We'll just talk on the traits now. So these people are high on prejudice. First thing, Indra is high on prejudice. Okay, you're meeting a Jyeshta person. What these people do is they they get to understand how these people are even before meeting them. They'll think this person whom I'm going to be could be like this, could be like that. And they make up their mind and then go. Have some jealousy. If the person he is going to meet, the Jyeshta person, if he is going to meet another person, uh, if he's a very raised man, and if he has more money, more power than him, Indra actually feels very jealous of him. He wouldn't want to meet such people. Okay. Indra wants to meet people who are below him. Not usually he wants to meet anyone to ask for any help because Indra cannot ask for help. These people, the problem with Indra is Indra cannot seek help from anyone. So if he is going to meet a person who is more richer or more powerful than him, the powerful man will think, look, Indra has come to me. Maybe he would be asking some favor from me, which Indra dislikes. Okay. So Indra does not want to meet people who are above him because he does not want to ask them anything. Okay. Because he thinks, look, why I should ask any help? If I have to do something, I have to earn for it. Why I should be cheaply asking for help? Doesn't like asking help. This is a very good positive thing. Okay. Do not think only on the negative side of it. So why he would feel jealous for it? Because Why does the man think that he's helping me or doing me a favor? He's actually doing a business. I'm doing another business. He's only trying to help each other. Why does he say that the help is only from his side? Actually, I'm also helping him because I'm paying for it. So nothing for free he accepts. Nothing as a favor he accepts. So if you're doing business, please do the business. I don't need a favor from you. Okay. However, people perceive them as egoistic, jealous, bossy, opportunistic, not respecting the people who have already done that job. Let us suppose somebody has done a business. I don't know what could be any business. Let's suppose a transport business somebody has done in the past 20 years. This kid came up fresh from the graduation, joined a transport business of his father or maybe mama or anyone. He would say, look, change everything. Okay. I do not like any of this. This is all nonsense. You're all wasting all these money on all these activities. Stop all these activities from tomorrow. They'll go back and tell to the person who did this job for 20 years, सर आपका जो साला है या फिर जो नेफ्यू है वो आया उसने बोला कि ये सब बंद कर दो. Stop all this from tomorrow. Then you would say, why? I've been doing this for 20 years. No, no, all these are just waste of money. These are non-productive tasks. Stop these. They're useless. Don't do this. No favor from anyone. From tomorrow, it's a business. Run this as a business. There's nothing like that. Okay? Keep juggling between materialism and spiritualism. Head of the family, uh, 90% of the times, Jyestha, or even more than 90%, 95% of the times, Jyestha have a difficult childhood. Okay. What a difficult childhood would mean is these people, when they were growing up, they did not have enough resources because Indra was a poor Brahmin boy. Indra is not a Kshatriya. Indra is born to Kasyapa Rishi, who is a Brahmin, and the Aditi. Okay. Usually Brahmins are poor by then. Okay. By the caste, it's difficult to say these days. But Brahmins were doing nothing for money. They were doing only for the tapasya or things like that. So they were usually considered as poor. So Indra was born a Brahmin. So this man did not have enough resources to do something. So he had a difficult childhood. Same would be the case with Jyeshta person because he is actually thriving to earn more. Let's suppose he is born to a auto rickshaw wala. I mean, do not take any of my sentences in a wrong fashion. Okay, everybody is equal these days. So, I mean, what is usually expected from people? If there is a child of an auto rickshaw wala, where would he be? Maybe after 20 years, he could be a taxi driver, not more than that. But a child of an auto rickshaw wala cannot become a Google's, Sundar Pichai. That's the usual expectation. However, he looks at that Google's Sundar Pichai thing, and he thinks, look, I have not got enough resources because I'm a talented fellow. I don't have enough resources. Let me ask some of my cousins or his father or his mother or some cousins' fathers or mothers if they can help us. Most of the people deny they cannot help because they don't even have enough money for the kind of aspirations this fellow has got. Because the auto rickshaw fellows, mama or bhai or those cousins also will be at the same level usually. Okay, or maybe a one step higher. He cannot be a brother of a minister or a chief minister or somebody, right? So they always have high aspirations, and they do not have resources to fulfill their dreams or to start their dreams or start the journey the way they wanted, and they face a lot of अपमान को क्या बोलते हैं insult, right? Insult. They face a lot of insult at the childhood. So they make up their mind in such a way that, look, when I make money, right, I'm gonna show it to all these people how they treated me, and they don't consider anybody to be people at all. They consider people like insects. ये तो मच्छर हैं, उनको छोड़ दो. This is what they think. Okay. So this can be for two reasons. One is the father is not there. The father is dead even before the kid is born. This is usually for the men, okay, for the boys who are Jyeshta boy. The father is not there, or the father is there. However, it's the mother's domination at home. A father is there, but not enough money he is having. He's a poor father for the kind of aspirations the Jyeshta has got and the kind of mindset they have. When you look at right the old communist movies, when you look at them, usually in the Telugu there are so many communist movies that were made. The young chap of a farmer who's kind of a bonded labor inside a zamindar's place would always want his child as well to aspire only to become a bonded labor once again of the zamindar. However, the child actually wants to become an IAS aspirant. Okay, so look at such movies. These are very very common during the 80s. So it's that kind of a boy. Usually happens to be a hero. That's why he's Jyeshta. So the father is poor or not trying to help him out with the kind of aspirations he has. And usually the father, even if he's available, he either is neutral or discourages or says, look, why do you spend so much? There is no guarantee over you becoming an IAS or not. So, or could be anything. Okay, the kind of career you're choosing is very difficult to actually travel through that path. Nobody supports him during childhood. In case of women, it may not be very dominant at the parents' place. Maybe for women at the husband's place, there are ego issues with the husband or with their usual women issues like the mother-in-law or the siblings, the female siblings of the husband. Things usually that happen around all these TV serial things, right? We have been all across India, either in the Hindi or in Telugu or in Tamil or anything. All these TV serial thing, it's the same thing with the Jyeshta. They don't respect her well. And Jyeshta, if there is no respect, then there is a big problem. Okay, so it is mostly for the power. Okay, power tussles, independence requirement. Somebody stops him from doing something or aspiring something. The one lady just asked me. So is it with the mother or father, or is it with both the parents? Or so it depends on who is actually stopping the aspiration of the person. So it could be mother who could be saying, look, you don't need to do all that. Okay, then there is a problem with the mother. If the father says, look, this is not allowed. No, no, you cannot be aspiring for some medical degree in the US. No, you can't do that. You don't have enough money. We don't have. No, no, you're a girl. How could I be sending you there? All this. Okay, she dislikes all that old school of thought. Okay, these people are still very down to earth people. If you meet a Jyeshta fellow, you will feel like you are protected, very down to earth, highly having a helping nature. When you ask help from them, they will be the first people to do. Okay, you ask a Jyeshta person any help, they'll be very happy to do it because they think, look, I'm a king. That's why he came up to me and asked me help. I should do it. Okay, and however, they want to offer a lot of protection for their family. If their family is breaking, these people are really crushed in between that. If the family is broken, if the family is not having good relationships, these people get crushed very much because why there is not enough peace in the family and all that. Okay, natives are constantly working for the welfare of their family, but a lot of people don't recognize it because Brahma is the thing, right? For the Rohini, you look at people, how people behave. If they're achieving something, they'll say, "Look, I have done this. That's why I've got this achievement." If they did not achieve something, and the life is a failure, the first thing they'll blame is on the Brahma. Why this man Brahma has wrote on my face that I have to be like this? Okay. For achievements, you credit yourself or some other god. Maybe you'll say, I'm a Sai Baba devotee, so it is Sai Baba. You would say Vishnu. Nobody actually worships Brahma. So Brahma never gets the credit. Okay. However, if there is some ill fortune or misfortune or whatever word you would want to use there, then you would definitely blame it on Brahma. If Brahma ने ऐसे मेरे को लिख के भेजा है ऊपर से. Okay, this is what usually people say it in their own language. Okay. So natives are usually protected by their parents or gurus. Okay, it is not that the parents are not protective of the child. Okay, that's why I said you go and watch any of those communist kind of movies where the farmer is the father and the child is the farmer's child. The farmer's child, he want to protect the child because if he goes against the zamindar might kill him. He wants to protect the child, but the child is very, high aspiring, and he wants to do something very different from what all these people are doing. And why should he be a slave? He could still be a king. Okay, I think you could relate to what I all said all this time. All right, so let us get into this one, the houses thing. So have this concept in mind. Once you understood the concept, go back and forth in the lecture, and also read all these lines. Okay, maybe a few here and there I could have missed. They all will help. So first thing is always look for the Lagna Lord Dispositor. Okay, Lagna Lord Dispositor is the most powerful one. Look for it, and then look for the Lagna Cusp. Final thing, which can be like 10% thing is the Lord of the house. 90% comes from the Dispositor and the Cusp itself. Lord of the Lagna is not going to you know influence much. So if the first Lord Dispositor gets into uh, uh, what is this, Jyeshtha, or the cusp of the Lagna falls in Jyeshtha. Okay, most of the times this is what happens. If it's a male child, sometimes his father is missing, okay, or he is not enough powerful for the kind of aspirations he has, or he doesn't bother much about the children they're bringing up and all that. The mother takes care of them. The father is actually busy somewhere, earning a meager income, which is not very much enough. Or father is not very botherful about what is happening at home. He's a kind of a very different parent. Okay, maybe he has his friends. He goes out with those friends. Okay, बच्चे हैं हाँ स्कूल जा रहे हैं आ रहे हैं बस that's it. Okay, it can be that, or maybe the father is not alive, or it can be so that the mother is very dominating at home, or the person, everything is fine, but the person does not have enough resources at home for the kind of aspirations he has. This is for sure. Okay. Generally perceived, this person is perceived as egoistic, okay, by other people. Or I mean, let us suppose how do we deal with egoistic people? Is I mean, when you go to an egoistic person, just imagine this. What do? We ask the other person, how do you think we have to approach this man? Right? Everybody asks this question because I spoke to him once over phone. He did not look like very receptive to talking. So how do we approach this person? Okay, maybe these kind of things can happen if Jyeshta is on the very high side. I mean, you have 4 planets or 5 planets on Jyeshta, and you also have the Lagna Cusp on Jyeshta, then you have a very different person whom you're meeting. However, just the Lagna Cusp is on the Jyeshta, you may not have such thing. Okay. Why I give you the exaggerated version is you actually have to tone it down the way you are looking at the planets and the kind of combinations you have in the chart. Okay. Now, generally, it is perceived as egoistic. He is perceived as egoistic. However, he has a very fatherly role and he's trying to protect everyone. The only thing that you have to do with Jyeshta is go and tell him, look, sir, this is what my situation is. Kindly help me out. He's going to own you and he's going to protect you. So may have ego issues with siblings if they are well settled. So Jyeshta does not like people who are very well settled. Okay, this is the negative side of it. However, the positive side is he will not go and ask for any help to anyone. He only approaches people who are in need of help. He does not bother people who are already well settled. He tries to help people who are unsettled. This is a very good trait, right? Why only think it or talk about the negative side of Jyeshta? The good side is he goes to people, helps the downtrodden people. However, if the sibling or if one of the parent or somebody has a problem, again the same Jyeshta fellow is going to help, despite the fact that the father was rude at childhood or anything, or the mother was rude at childhood. This Jyeshta is going to help the same fellow because he is in need of help. Okay. I've already talked about this. If it's not their money, most of the times they would say, why go for cheap options? Look for good options. Okay. Okay. Now you have second. If you have the second house, Jyeshtha, this is a very dominating voice you have. Okay, and they will act like a fatherly figure to all of their family, and they may not like drinking. Okay, alcohol drinking they may not like. However, if somebody comes up and says to them, look, you are this now, you are at a very big position, you cannot say no to alcohol, maybe you have to grab a glass, then he would say, look, which is the richest one to drink, or show that status in front of 100 people. I want to show status. He grabs up a glass. He may not drink, okay? Just for the sake of showing it to people, he would talk about brands there as well. Look, this is the kind of brand I would drink, to boast about. And none of these are wrong, okay? Do not think Jyeshta is a wrong person. If you're thinking like that, you're aapka chitt kharab hai. You have to get your mind repaired, okay? Then you have jealous about siblings and relatives, which I just said right now, or support them if there are poor people. So if Jyeshta does not have any poor people around, then he is going to get into charity and will do a lot of charity. Okay. Mother could be raising the family if there is a fourth house connections. Dad could have passed away early, or maybe father is ill, or mother is actually earning more. Mother could be protecting the whole family, the native especially. Mother could be jealous, also has a dominating attitude. Fifth house could mean a gram sarpanch or a zamindar in the family, usually the grandparent, grandfather. He could be protecting the whole family because fifth house happens to be the ninth from the ninth. So if you count nine houses from the ninth house, father's father comes into fifth house. Okay, or the children could be, very dominative. Uh, I mean, the children could be dominating the native since a very young age. Sixth house is enmity with boss or father, jealous, dominative enemies. Okay. I mean, what interests me here is in the sixth house. I mean, usually this happens to be for, in simple terms, if you have a Gemini Lagna, then you have the sixth house in Jyeshtha. Okay, possibility of having sixth house in Jyeshtha. You see that, uh, these people are like, they have very, very big enemies. Why they have a big enemy is because they are aspiring so much. Gemini, that's why you have Arudra as Lagna, or Punarvasu as Lagna. People are they are aspiring too much, either for the children or for themselves. Okay. These are all interconnected. If you just sit down and think over, these are all interconnected. Seventh house, if it happens to be in Jyeshta, there are two things. Okay, I wrote only one side of this. If seventh house happens to be on the Jyeshta side, one is there can be loggerheads. I mean, there can be fights for independence, or fights for authority. Yeah, these are the two things. Somebody could be, fighting with each other for their authority. Whose the thing has to work at home? It should be my word, or it should be your word. Is what is the thing? Or maybe the wife is saying, look, give me my independence. Don't try to peep into everything of mine. You need to give me my independence, and the husband is not ready to give it. That's Jyeshta. Okay. If both are Jyeshtas, then you have more of that. Sometimes jealous of business partners' richness, and these people strive so much that they are going to go ahead, uh, of their business partners. If the combinations are good, I mean, if they are working and things like that, power tussles, etc. And also, one more thing, what I have seen is if the seventh house, seventh lord happens to be in the ninth house. Okay, we'll talk about that in the ninth house. Okay, wait for a second. So, sixth house, juggling between materialism and spiritualism. Wife's family could be dominating and jealous. This also we can see if it's a Aries lagna and you have Jyeshta on the eighth house, especially on the Bharani side, because that's where the cusp would fall in Bharani and the Kritika. Kritika last charana and Bharani's second charana onwards will be on the Jyeshta in the eighth house. So that is where you can see some domination from the wife's family. On the native as well, it can so happen that the native is being dominated by them. It can also so happen. Okay. What is interesting is the ninth house. I mean, look at the kind of relationship this man has. The Rohini. We'll talk about the Rohini for a few minutes. So Rohini is ruled by Prajapati, right? Prajapati is like the Brahma, okay, or Kasyapa Prajapati. When we also have Daksha Prajapati. Daksha Prajapati's daughter is Sati. Okay, Sati had loved Shiva, and Shiva and Sati got married. When they were marrying and tying the knot, Daksha said, "Look, this man, you you are a daughter of a king, and Shiva is a man who lives, in a Shamshan Ghat, in a cemetery, or a burial ground. Okay, and you're gonna, he's a poor man. You're wedding a poor man. The kind of customs he follows and we follow are entirely different. He would be, no matter what, he lives in the pathetic conditions. How can you be living there? She did not agree to what Daksha said, and she has wedded Rudra, or Vishiva rather. Okay, you can give him whatever name you would want. And later on, the Daksha Yajna happened, and Daksha actually insulted Shiva. Okay, and in that due course, we will talk about that in the Daksha Yajna, maybe after all these nakshatras are over, because it needs about 1 hour's explanation to all the nakshatras. All of the nakshatras are connected to Daksha Yajna, because that's the second nakshatra in the Daksha, or the Prajapati happens to be the second nakshatra, because Kritika is the first one and Rohini is the second one. So there is a big story around it. We'll talk about it. And when that happened, that the Shiva and Daksha were not in good terms ever since then. You can also see that here. So if there is a woman, if there is a woman whose seventh, ninth connections, okay, seventh, ninth connections, either they're together in the Jyeshta or the Rohini, or they are separately at different places, but their dispositors, the seventh and the ninth lord dispositors, connect to Rohini or Jyeshta somehow. What happens is either there is no consent of the father in that. Okay, what you have to understand is the father's consent is missing. Okay, you're looking at a lady's horoscope, let us suppose. Okay, and you have this combination of seventh, ninth. Either their dispositors are in the Jyeshta. It could be a single dispositor, two dispositors, or both of these planets are in Jyeshta or in Rohini. Both are same. What happens is um, the father-in-law is missing, or his consent is missing. This could mean two things. One is the father-in-law has passed away before the marriage. Okay, it means that the person who this girl is going to bed does not have a father-in-law long back. He's died long back, and the boy she is wedding must have had a difficult childhood and raised up in life. Okay, this is what is the first thing that has to come up into your mind. Keep this in mind. This works like gem. The second option is these people are tying knots, or this woman is tying a knot with someone. The father is disapproving, or the father does not like the boy. Usually, why does that happen? Because of the difference in caste or class. Okay, the rich does not wed the poor, and vice versa, and the caste thing in India. Okay, these are the two possibilities. Uh, you can pick it up from there. Look at the D9 chart. I'll teach you how to look at whether this is because of the death of the father-in-law, or is it because of the death, or is it because of the disapproval of the own father. Okay, these two things can be confirmed. We'll talk about it. So when there is these combinations happening, the 7-9 or the 9, because ninth is the father, seventh is the spouse. Okay, so why 7-9 I said is father and spouse. They have to connect to either the Rohini or to the Jyeshta. If it's a mild thing, sometimes they may have ego issues. They don't talk to each other for long, long time. And at this fag end, or maybe after 15 years or 20 years, things improve. And Daksha and Shiva also united little later on. Okay. Bosses could be dominating the other one in the ninth house. Or this husband is actually a very dominative person. When you have seventh house connections for the woman, the husband dominates too much, does not allow her to talk, and all that stuff. So ultimately, if you see such things, then you have to pick up a girl who can be a slave kind of person to this boy. Okay, so keep that in mind. If that doesn't happen, if you're trying to match up two Jyeshtas together, then there will be a lot of difficulty. Even today, a lot of girls will be available in the market because God actually creates in a balance. If there is a dominative person who wants to be a master, there is a slave ready for him. So find out such combinations where there can be slaves. Okay. How can you decide a slave thing? If you are not seeing Indra word in the nakshatra of the Cusp, or the first lord thing which I said. So the dispositor of the first lord, Cusp, should not have Indra term. It means it cannot be Chitra, it cannot be this one, Jyeshtha, or it cannot be Satvisha. These are all Indra nakshatras. Okay, these are highly dominative. Dominating person to another dominating one can be a big problem. Or it cannot be even Daksha as well. It cannot be Rohini as well, because even Rohini is a dominative person. So you have to avoid such combinations. That's when the whole thing will be very, very happy. I mean, look at 50, 60 years ago. The father used to dominate over the mother, and the mother could not even speak. And some women are very happy doing that. Okay. Don't take me wrong here. Okay. What everybody would want to have as an astrologer is, if somebody comes up to you, they need a happy marriage. That's why they visit an astrologer. Don't try to be, talking about the feministic thing or communistic ideas out here. You have to be very practical. Otherwise, it's difficult for you to be in Jyotisha. On the other side, I mean, at work or something, you might be like that. It's all fine. When you are getting into the shoes of an astrologer, you have to behave like one.
Sir, can we match Jyestha with Aslesha?
Depends, because Jyeshtha with Aslesha, the problem is Aslesha has a very dominative mother. Okay. So the Jyeshtha woman will have a lot of problem with the Aslesha mother-in-law. If the woman is Jyeshtha, and if she has to go to an Aslesha fellow's house, because usually that's what happens, right? Girl goes into the boy's
Yes,
place.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
he does not like the mother-in-law. Okay.
What nakshatra would match with Jyestha most?
Anything will match with Jyeshtha. You have to sit down. I've given you already everything. You want a spoon feed? No, right? You have to sit down and see the mantras of all the nakshatras and find out. And you have to be patient. You'll get it. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah. However, you also have to look at the whole horoscope, because sometimes even if the mother is dominating at the very start of the Aslesha thing, she might be very old to dominate today. So you have to look at that stuff as well. So if the If the union is good based on dashas and based on the D9 chart, if the union happens to be good, you can make them wed. Okay. All right. So on the 10th, we may have many bosses have changed at the start of the job, and there is no proper mentorship for this person to actually learn anything and come up in life. Or he's posted in such a remote place where there is no boss for him right from the first day, and everything is actually self-taught, self-learned. Such a person he is. So there are two possibilities here. One is he must have not learned anything in life, and maybe he knows a very few things except for dominating. He does not know anything, or he has got got with him a tool like an internet, wherein he self-taught everything to him. How do you find that? You look at the D10 chart, you understand from that. There is a confirmation there. One thing is for sure is that he has not got proper mentors in life at when you have 10th house and the 11th house connections there. Okay, or he has a very dominative, egoistic boss, uh, or he has progressed very much, very well in the materialistic world. Uh, Brother could be dominating, he could be protecting the native like a father. So the 11th house connections sometimes is a good thing because the elder sibling becomes the father-like figure, keeps helping him and stuff like that. That's a good thing actually to have somebody up helping you on the Jyeshta side is always good. So let's talk about the symbols. Symbols are male deer. Okay, deer is the most afraid animal, most frightened animal, which is very timid. Okay, so why does Indra attack? Because he's timid. Somebody else is going to attack me. That is why let me attack first. Okay, this is what Jyeshta is. Very, very fearful of events. ये हो जाएगा क्या वो हो जाएगा क्या ये हो जाएगा क्या वो हो जाएगा क्या This is what the deer keeps thinking. Okay, just look at in the National Geographic Channel whenever you get some time how deers and antelopes behave in a jungle. Okay, to understand how Jyeshta works or how Mrigashira works. Okay, how do we identify Jyeshta or Mrigashira is just because of this. They do not want to drive in new routes unless they have somebody else alongside them. Okay, umbrella. All these amulet, umbrella, these are all of a very protective nature which they offer to people. If you got an umbrella, what happens when there is a rain or heavy sun? People come under your umbrella. You try to help them because an umbrella can at least accommodate two people. Whatever is produced in India, I mean, we are these days we are seeing umbrellas just who can accommodate even one, like the Japanese or the Chinese can make them. But traditionally, umbrellas are not just for one; they can at least accommodate two, and sometimes even three, four people. Or an umbrella is a must for a kingly person who alone sits under the umbrella. Okay. So I'm not talking too much and boring about all this. It all represents the same thing. Anybody has any feedback or something to talk about, I'll be happy to hear.
Sir, I know someone with Mars in Jyeshtha in first house, and the thing about the thing is with uh like uh authorization figure in house is true. Along with it,
No, no,
her sixth.
your voice was breaking in between. You said the Lagna is in Jyeshta and the Mars is also in Jyeshta.
Yes, sir, Mars is in Jyeshtha too.
Okay.
So
So, yeah.
so she has some problems with her mother, basically because her mother is the major controlling person in her house, and the thing about being very much into splurging, basically she's that kind of person. Like once she when she was not even working, she spent almost 50-60K for a small teddy bear, which obviously any parent would never allow. uh, But yeah, and along with that, as you mentioned that the sixth house thing, so she has problems. She always had problems with her managers, and her HRs used to um, but the reason that she had to leave the company.
Hmm. So her HRs were doing what? Your voice again broke.
Sir, her HRs used to have some problem with her. I don't know. They used to think that she was either egoistic, right, or she had an attitude. Basically, what she said always. But she's not
Okay.
that. She don't have an attitude or anything. But it seems that way always. So
Perceived thing is the
yeah,
attitude.
yeah, right. She is not. She don't have attitude, but it seems that she got that. So that's the reason that often she has to resign from 2 3 companies.
Okay, okay. I think she owns too much the work. I think she dominates on the field and she tries to correct a lot of things on field. Whatever they're trying to do is wrong. I'm actually trying to correct them, but they're not listening. Is all that will be the other side of the story if you ask her.
I don't know, sir. I didn't ask about that, but the reason she told me that she always had some or other problem with her HR only, and they asked her to resign, and it happened in 3 companies consecutively. For 3 months she used to work, then there was this problem.
Just check the D10. What happens with this such kind of D10 is in the fourth house, there will be some influence of the sixth and the eighth house. Maybe the sixth and the eighth lords are together in the fourth house of the D10. That can be a possibility.
Okay, so and sir, that egoistic thing is true for another person. She is an Aries ascendant, and in her in her eighth house, she got Mars in Jyeshtha. So first, she is perceived egoistic as well. Second, she has problems with the person she is current with the sister of the current person she is dating. So as you mentioned that the family of maybe the spouse, right? So she has problems with that. Along with that, she's into very expensive stuff as well. So she buys very expensive stuff.
Mhm. So, do you know that because Mars in Lagna would mean she would always buy two things, one as a backup, one for working, especially in
Sorry.
case of Scorpio. So, let's suppose somebody has to buy a phone, right? This girl
Mm.
buys two phones.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, little strange. Okay, anyway.
Sir,
Yes.
I know a relative having fourth lord in Jyeshta, and
Okay.
mother is very dominant and violent too. And she never listens to anyone. And she is never thankful. I don't know it's afflicted or like this. She is never thankful to anyone.
What is
And
the Lagna first thing?
Taurus Lagna.
Okay, Taurus Lagna, the fourth lord Sun.
Mrigashira. Yes. Sun
Fourth
in
lord
Jyeshta.
Sun is in Jyeshta in the seventh house, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Uttara Falguni in fourth house.
Okay, Uttara Phalguni in the fourth house. So the
Yes.
fourth lord dispositor, where is Mars?
Oh, I don't know. If in fifth house. It's in fifth house.
Okay, fifth house with Kansi Nakshatra. Which Nakshatra is that?
I have to check.
Okay, see, fine, fine. Okay, you said that because the fourth lord is in the seventh house, the lady is highly
And
dominant.
Mars, yes, Mars in Hasta Nakshatra, fourth
Okay.
pada, and with Rahu.
Hmm.
And she is very, matlab, little Jagdalu types.
Hmm. She also has issues with the husband.
Yes,
See.
a lot of ego issues. But one thing I have noticed, she is never thankful to anything. I don't know, it's afflicted on.
No, Sun itself in the seventh house, right? Because Sun is in a very big special position, being in the
Yes, yes,
because Sun is the king, right? Sun is
yes,
the king, and Sun is being in the seventh house, so that's a very big special position. And then it's the Jyeshta.
yes. And one thing more, she always says, "ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा, क्या होगा, क्या नहीं होगा." It's like moon is debilitated in Jyeshta. That's why this thing occur a lot. Overthinking is,
Hmm.
you
I
can
mean,
say.
in the ninth house, because if you look at from Scorpio, the ninth lord is debilitated in Scorpio. So fear of future. Okay. So all three
Yes,
nakshatras,
yes,
Vishakha, Anuradha, and Jyeshtha, they always have some or the other fear about the future. आज ठीक है, कल कल कुछ हो जाए तो, परसों कुछ हो जाए तो, आज ठीक है. So this is the common fear.
yes, yes. I can relate.
Done?
Yes, certain.
No, no, I'm asking about others as well. Anybody else would come up to speak?
Sir, the thing I was talking about, that Mars and Lagna person, she is very, as you mentioned, she is very protective as well. And along with that, as you said, that these kind of people often go very low in life, and they have the courage to like jump back to
Right.
the norm. Like literally, even when I hear about the things she goes with, but she is crying too, and she is working as well, uh, that goes together. And I'm like that I can't even handle the kind of stuff she handles every
Okay.
day.
How do you describe yourself? I mean, what is your Lagna Cusp or Lagna or dispositor? Which nakshatra is it?
For mine,
Yes.
Bharni,
Yes. Yes. Your Lagna Cusp or your Lagna Lord dispositor nakshatra.
everything is in Bharni.
Oh, Bharan.
Yes, sir. So, like she will be suffering from illness, and she will be going to the office. She will be fighting with few people. She'll be crying for three other things, but she'll be doing all this, but she won't stop. And I'm like that. This is this match. This trade matches a lot.
Hmm. No, Bharani is interested more in ending things. So if something happens wrong, let us end it. Maybe
Yes,
try
sir,
something
yes.
else.
I
Okay.
don't.
So
I don't.
you don't
Uh,
don't like to drag things. You want to end it there itself.
I don't
So that,
stretch things for long. I just end it that
correct.
once. One time it is wrong, then don't do it again.
Okay. Maybe that's the reason you find it very difficult. All right. Uh, I mean, are you people able to follow, or is there any difficulty in following anything that on the improvement side? Anybody want to give me any feedback or anything? I mean, you can be open. There is nothing like it. Because why I'm doing this is for the good of everyone. Let everybody learn and at least come out of the clutches of wrong people who are directing wrongly in the on the Jyotisha side. That's the idea of the whole starting up a class or anything. Okay.
It's good, sir. Most of the stuff you are saying are going according with the characteristics or personalities as per the stars.
Okay. Good. All right. Let's say goodbye to each other today for now. Let's meet the next week. Thank you all for listening to me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.